Come on, come on. Y'all ready? They ready? We ready? We ready? Facing old lady, cracking hard to come to do the rest. Step in the way, multiple things are going through. You must have gone past the 24, you was blessed. And now we take them out the game, yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to football season. I am your Commish Bromy, and we are live with week one preseason rankings. We've got ourselves matchups. We got everything you can think of. We got walk-ons going on right now. Recruiting just happened last week, so hope everything is going good. People who are currently watching, you can see our top 10 scrolling across the stream there. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So we had 8 presidents submit their rankings for the preseason. This will be the only time presidents have to do it. We have a formula that we use now, using a bunch of numbers, crunching to get that going here. So let's go over with what you, the president, said are our top 10 schools going into week one into the season. So number 1, getting 2 first place votes overall. And overall, the number 1 ranked school, University of Kentucky Bourbon Ballers. Number 2, the defending champions, Queensland Tech Hokies. They also received 2 first place votes. Number 3, Presbyterian Blue Hose, the runner-ups last year. Number 4, SCLSU Mud Dogs. Number 5, Brock State University. They received a number 1 vote. Number 6, Missouri Manscapers. Number 7, DBAPU. Number 8, Crime State University. Number 9, and obviously this is a bunch of sucking up, University of Thugonomics. And then number 10, Taytown Criminals U. They also received a number 1 vote. So let me go ahead and just share that now to the website as well. So that'll be published onto the site for everybody to see how the rest of the rankings fell. That should be pretty much live now onto our football site for everybody to see everyone else ranked from when it came through 11 through 36. When you look at the rest of the rankings, when you're looking at it on the website, the number in parentheses is how many times the school was voted into the top 10. Just missing out was Samurai Jackson University. They had actually 4 votes in the top 10, but just missed out being in the actual top 10. And then from here on out, like I said, we'll have a formula for the entire season that'll be used. So let's talk about that formula, right? So last year, we did a formula where I was going back through, and it was 70% of your total wins plus your all-play percentage, 25% of that, and that equaled out to be the ranking system. It worked really well last year, but the one thing I noticed it was doing, and I didn't care for too much, was it was pretty much putting everybody in order of wins. So if you had, a bunch of 9-win teams, they were always right in order. And below them was 8-win, below 7, 6, 5, and so on and so forth. And I didn't really care for that because it didn't give me the parity that I was looking for. So throughout the entire season last year, I was messing around with what would be the correct, a better formula to use to where it'll put in an 8-win school that actually is performing very well ahead of some 9-win schools, or and all that stuff. So I got the rankings for that of what we're going to do. We're going to kind of change it a little bit here. So the percentages that we're going to go with now for this is, let me get to my screen here of the new formula we're working for this year. It should be good for this entire season. Unless another school goes undefeated again during the regular season, it ain't going to matter. So what it's going to be now is that it is going to be, pull this back up. You have 25% on your wins. So however many wins you get, obviously you get 25% towards the formula. 50% is now going to be, all right, let me take it back. It's 25% wins. It's going to be 75% all play percentage. So how you do if you were facing every school that week, and then +1 to kind of just offset things. So that is going to be the formula this year going into the season. So after week 1, that's how it'll calculate itself. I did toy around with possibly doing a bunch of different ones, whether it was 25% wins, 50% all play, and then 25% on the power rank, minusing that out. I didn't like the way that was looking, the way MLF was doing the power rankings, which I also felt also is kind of the way their all play is doing as well. So kind of like a doubling up on things. But throughout the season, as I was doing this, I was putting those formulas up against the current formula they were using, and like I said, it was pretty much dead on, except for it would put a 7-win school above an 8-win school, but for purposes of the all play factor. And just like I did last year, I'll be keeping all the records of wins, power ranking, all play, number of wins you've had against your opponent, of the opponents you're facing, to kind of show strength of schedules and stuff like that. Because you guys did make your own schedules, right? So for those, when it comes to, old school bowl season where we were actually picking who would be in it, now it's a little bit different. Now you earn your spot based off the rankings, and then you get to pick your opponent and stuff like that. So we're going to continue that this year as well. So, but I will be keeping track of your wins against opponents and stuff of that nature, just like I did last year for everybody. So that is what the formula is going to be for this season going in. So hopefully, like I said, it'll create just a little bit of parity within the rankings, but not also screw it up too much to what we had before. All right, so we've got your rankings, we've got your formula. I thought about breaking some news to you guys on a new rule that we're going to do for next season, but I think I'm going to hold off on that one, kind of give you guys a little bit of a teaser, but it does affect the way we're going to do transfers for next season. I'm trying to still fine tune the writing for it all to make sure that it's 100% understandable. So I'm going to give myself a couple of weeks into the season to make sure the wording is correct. There's no confusion over it, hopefully, to where it lessens as many questions as there could be. But ultimately, this is going to give everybody a little bit more ability to mess around with your roster than years past when it comes to transfers, whether non-scholarship or with scholarship players. We're still going to do penalizations with removing scholarships and stuff like that, but that's later on. Like I said, I'm fine-tuning all the wording to make sure that it all makes sense. I don't want to confuse myself in general as well, but I've been in talks constantly with the rules committee when we agreed to do this, and by we agreeing it, I pretty much said, here's what we're going to do. Make it make sense with me, so that way we all know what's going on. So that's that. Like I said, I'm fine-tuning it, but I'm just letting you all know there will be a change with how we do the off-season next year with transfers, whether it's non-scholarship or scholarship, to which I think everyone will enjoy. It'll be a little bit different, but like I said, you guys get a little bit more control to mess around with your rosters, but also still give the aspect of what the league is, college-wise. There's been talks years in the past about how do we use a transfer portal, and that's kind of what this is going to be, to open up your rosters a little bit more. So that's that. Let's talk about games. Like I said, season starts tomorrow. So if you got anybody who's on the Chiefs or anybody on the Lions, you want to make sure you got your starting roster set up and ready. So let's talk about these games we got going on this week. Now, one thing I do all the time for week 1 is a lot of rematches from last season when it comes to bowl games. Obviously, Game of the week is going to be the rematch of our championship game. But each one of these matches, a good portion of them anyway, were a bowl game from last season. And it's just the way I love to kick off the next season is having those teams face off again for either revenge or to keep that winning streak going against that school. So, game of the week, as I've already stated before, this is going to be no surprise, but it is the rematch of the national championship from last year that ended not the way you'd want to have a championship game end, but unfortunately, that injury with DeMar Hamlin really, in fantasy world messed things up, let alone out in the actual NFL world. But two teams agreed to how to let the game go and let the scoring be what it is. So, with that said, number 3, Presbyterian Blue Hose going on the road to face the defending champions, number 2, Queensland Tech Hokies. Looking at their current matchup, right? Players can change, things can change here going in, but currently Presbyterian is favored by 3 points to get themselves some revenge. They've got Burrow, Chubb, Tyreek, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, and what does the Jets offense look like with Aaron Rodgers quarterbacking right now? Kyle Pitts for Queensland. He's got Herbert, Eckler, Chase, Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Hawkinson. Like I said before, because I'm looking at the defense, we did change around the scoring for the defense. I'm going to keep my eye on tomorrow night on the quarterbacks. Really going to keep my eye on all the defensive scoring to make sure there's nothing wrong with the way it's set up now, and there's no double dipping in the points. I don't want them getting a tackle and then also getting the additional points for what we said the positions would be getting on any of those things. So I'm going to be keeping a huge eye on how the defense is being scored this first game to make sure if I got to change anything, I can get it changed right on the spot before it affects really anything during the season or during the end of the rest of this week. So, all right. And in their matchup of history that they have, Queensland is 2-0 against Presbyterian. Like I said, revenge game of last year's national championship game. Next matchup we have for the ranked school is number 6, Missouri Manscapers on the road, going to face Evil Empire. Empire doesn't have their roster set yet, probably waiting for their walk-on player to get added in, which they did get added in. So right now there's no way to tell you who's favored going into week 1. But for Missouri, they got Herbert, Christian McCaffrey, Tony Pollard, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, and Mark Andrews. So good matchup there. Or at least good matchup there for Missouri. What has Evil Empire got to face them? We'll see. Next matchup with some ranked schools. Let's see. We need Florida State needs to get their roster set. All right. We got ourselves a matchup of ranked versus ranked. Number 5, Brock State University going on the road to face Grimes State University, number 8. This is their first time ever facing each other as Grimes State is in the Mountain 6, and Mountain 6 is still trying to play their way through the league. So they have both their rosters set currently. Something could change. But for Brock State, you got Patrick Mahomes, Najee Harris, Kenneth Walker III, Justin Jefferson, Scary Terry McLaurin. He's got Cade Otto as his tight end. For Grimes State, he's got Dak, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, Chris Olave, and Mark Andrews. Currently, Grimes State favored by 14 points. Next matchup with the ranked school, we've got Delta Phi Gamma going on the road to face number 10, Taytown Criminals. Taytown doesn't have their roster set yet, but they got time. But for Delta Phi, they're going to put up against them Patrick Mahomes, Joe Mixon, Kenneth Walker III, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Darren Waller in their tight end spot. This is their third time meeting each other, and they have a split 1-1 in their series. Next matchup, big matchup of a rematch. Neither team are ranked, but I think they were like 11-12 or 11-13. Quickly throw out to them Louisiana University Knights going on the road facing Samurai Jackson University. If I remember correctly, last year I think Samurai Jackson lost their first week and then went on like a 10-game winning streak or something like that. It's really crazy, but good matchup there of those two schools rematching from last year's bowl game. Next matchup, let's see, where's some ranked? Here we go. We have number 9, University of Thugonomics going on the road to face Jefferson Community College in a rematch of their bowl game from last year, where the Thugs took the loss. For Thugonomics, they've got Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard, Debo Samuel, and Travis Kelce, who is a game-time decision after hyperextending his knee the other day. And so for Jefferson, they've got Jalen Hurts, Christian McCaffrey, Tony Pollard, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, and Evan Ingram. Currently, Jefferson is favored by 6 points in this rematch. Overall, their series of facing each other, they have a split. Each school has won twice against each other. Next matchup with some ranked. We got ranked on ranked here. Number 4, SCLSU Mud Dogs going on the road to face number 7, DBAP University. This one here, SCLSU Mud Dogs hold a significant advantage in their series all time, 5-1 versus DBAP University. For the Mud Dogs, you got Justin Herbert, Travis Etienne, Christian McCaffrey, Stephon Diggs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Darren Waller. For DBAP, got Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson, and TJ Hawkinson. Currently, DBAP is favored by about 0.7 points, so pretty much a toss-em, pick 'em right there. Next one we got here. What else we got for ranked? Alrighty, we have the number 1 school in NCAA based off of you guys, University of Kentucky Bourbon Ballers. They're going on the road to face Ocean State College Destroyers. The Destroyers don't have a lineup in there yet, but for the Ballers, they got Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Amari Cooper, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Dallas Goedert on their offensive side. They're projected to put up 151 points as the number 1 seed. Next one, let's see. Aztec needs to get their roster in. Quack Attack needs to get their roster in. Who else we got? Anybody else? And that is it for all the ranked schools. So those are all your matchup with the ranked school, with all the ranked matchups. I'm trying to pull up something real quick because I told you guys I was going to talk about predictions as well to kind of give you an idea of what the predictions were from the presidents that did do their submissions. So let me get you that information as we speak. All right. Predicted to win the ACC. We have K-Town Criminals, Brock State University, Florida State Fighting Raccoons, Brock State University again, University of Dallas Spurs, K-Town Criminals University, and Louisiana University Knights. So nicely a little bit spread out there. Got a couple of Brock State, I think K-Town named twice. I think those are the only two that were named twice in there. But so that's what the predictions were for the ACC. For the Big Six, you got Purdue Plague, Jefferson Community College, Purdue Plague again, DBAPU, Jefferson Community College again, Harrison University, and Purdue Plague again. So that's 3 for Purdue. So a lot of people are thinking you're going to have yourself a good season. For Big East, you got Queensland Tech Hokies, University of Thugonomics, Queensland Tech again, University of Thugonomics again. Looks like, here we go, University of Thugonomics again. You guys don't need to really kiss the butt of the commish, but I'll take it. Central CH University, and then FACU is in there as well. For Mountain 6, Kentucky Bourbon Ballers, Kentucky Bourbon Ballers, Kentucky Bourbon Ballers. Kentucky Bourbon Ballers swept the Mountain 6 in predictions, which is assuming why everyone picked them as their number 1 seed going into the season as well. For Pack 6, you got Missouri, Samurai Jackson, Missouri again, Delta Fu, Samurai Jackson again, Ocean State College. For the SEC, you got Presbyterian, Quack Attack, Presbyterian, SCSU Mud Dogs, and Presbyterian. So a lot of people are still in favor of Presbyterian Blue Hose, continuing on how they did last year. For the Final Four predictions, we've got Presbyterian, K-Town, Tech, Hokies, and University of Kentucky. We've got SCLSU Mud Dogs, University of Thugonomics, DBAP, and Brock State. We've got Presbyterian, Samurai Jackson, Kentucky Bourbon, Purdue Plague, Brock State, Missouri, DBAP, and Queensland. Kentucky, Blue Hose, Delta Fu, and Dallas Spurs. Quack Attack, Kentucky, Harrison, and Samurai Jackson. Kentucky, Presbyterian, Purdue, and University of Thugonomics there. But let's see the final projection when it comes to who's going to be the champion for the 2023 season. We've got Presbyterian named, SCLSU Mud Dogs named, Presbyterian named again, Brock State, Delta Fu, Kentucky, and Kentucky. So Kentucky with a couple of in there, Presbyterian with a couple of in there. Those were some of the top couple of schools from last year as well. So that's it. That's our show. Nice, quick, simple. This is kind of what I'm hoping to do each week. About a 20 to 30-minute show, not too long, is the hopes. Just recapping from the season from the week before, talking about the new rankings and the new matchups that we'll have from week to week. Reminder to everybody, we have, like I said, walk-ons going on. If you haven't gotten them in there already, you have up until Saturday to get those in. So make sure you get those in, and then I'll approve them for you. And then after that, you get a couple weeks off before we get another recruiting season in there, another recruiting session in there, some more walk-ons as well. So that's all I got for you guys. Let's have ourselves a good season. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.